Welcome to Us Watching Us. This is a series of live streams that we then put on YouTube the next day. That maybe you're watching this now, or most people will probably watch it the next day.
They're definitely watching it now.
Somebody's watching it now, but
yeah.
Oh, they're all watching it now.
They're all watching
but not
it
now.
Not,
Even the
not
people watching
now.
it now are delayed by like 10 seconds or something.
Yeah. No one's in our now.
And this is a series of live streams that we do where we're watching videos from ourselves from 2010. And tonight is special because we are going to be watching a series of videos from the very first time we ever visited Tokyo. And it was a few weeks after we first arrived, or I guess not a couple weeks after we first arrived in Japan, because we went to Sendai first, and then we went to Hokkaido, then we went to Sendai, then we came to Tokyo. And the reason that that's notable is because we have now lived in Tokyo for like a decade. And at that time, of course, it was our first visit. So we're going to get to see our first impressions of our time in a city which we've come to know quite well.
Yeah, and a monster of a city. I definitely didn't understand how big this place was.
Yeah. Well,
and now sometimes my friends are like, hey, you want to come to Shibuya? And I'm like, no, it's too far away. It's really not that far away, but it's too far away.
And I remember being when we went on this trip, so this is a portion of a trip that we had taken around the world. And this was like country like 9 or 10 or something. And I remember when we had gone off on the whole trip, I knew Japan was really expensive comparatively to all the other places, but I was like, we have to go to Japan. Like, I was like, we'll never have another chance. We're never going to be in this part of the world again. We have to go to Japan. And I remember being especially excited about coming to Tokyo and just being like, we have to come to Tokyo. I don't care what it costs. We're going to dip into the savings deeper here than anywhere else in the whole trip. Just do it. And I remember being stoked about it.
Were there, from your recollection, were there any countries that I was like, we have to go there?
I don't recall you being super... I think you might have been kind of excited about India before we went, but only after we had eaten all the Indian food in the other countries and it had been good.
I like
We were both pretty stoked about India.
Think about doing that for my birthday.
But, yeah. So this was just a place that I was specifically excited about. And I think what we'll do here is... I need to change this over because I think I don't want to dox myself. Hold on a second. How do you get to the inputs for the thing? There we go.
Yeah, I remember when we came here, I really didn't have much in my head about what the country was, what I should expect. I think we might have watched a few documentary type things that just give you that general understanding of a country and a city.
Yeah.
But
and we
I didn't really have anything in there.
We did do that like before we went on our trip. We just downloaded anything that we could about traveling to certain places because there were no like YouTube travel vlogs at the time. So,
and people still ask me, like, why did you come to Japan?
Like to move here?
No. Like, I always take it as both answers. Like, why did you come originally and why did you come to live here? Because the original is me just saying, like, it was part of a trip and, like... I don't really even think about that you had specifically said we should go to that one, but I do remember that now.
Yeah, so Tom Valdez and I had talked about coming to Japan many, many years ago, and we just never did.
Were you going to marry Tom Valdez?
Yeah.
He's a hottie, it's fine.
Okay, so here we go. I finally got this set up so that we can look at a map. So just for anybody catching up, basically we had traveled from the States where we were from. We did Costa Rica, and then we flew over to Asia. We did a whole bunch of stuff all over Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia, and Singapore, and Laos, and blah, 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 blah. And we worked our way up the coast of China, went over to Korea, and then we flew into Japan. And that's where we were picking up recently in the last couple of weeks. We did a series of videos that we watched that we had filmed in Sendai. Then we went up and did some in Hokkaido, and then we came back to Sendai, and that's where we left off last week.
What's the temperature in Tokyo?
Does it?
Oh, sometimes it tells you. So disappointed now.
I don't know.
It's cloudy, 21 Celsius.
Yeah, I guess. So we will be beginning our trip tonight. What we're watching is us going from Sendai down to Tokyo. We took a bus. I don't know if we filmed it at all. We'll see. And then the rest of the videos are all just us in Tokyo. I've got a bunch of photos as well that we'll check out when we're at the end of that. And I'm ready. Are you ready?
Not yet.
All right, guys. Let us know if you have a donk. When I start to play the thing. It's watching us. Tokyo. Part 1 of 5. So there should be 5 of these tonight that we were watching. That bonked out the wrong place.
Wrong bonk.
Yep.
Nope, wrong bonk taco. It came out of his... oh, well, I guess maybe it could be playing for them. I don't know that.
Well, it heard it through that.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. But then I thought at the same time it might be audio connected to more places than one. Oh, that was in my ear.
All right. Here we go.
Was it the correct donk for everyone?
So we're leaving for Tokyo today, and last night we were at a barbecue with the Starkey family, and we left there about 12:30, which after we got home and I packed, put me in bed around 3 a.m., and we had to get up at about 5:30 so that we could walk the hour
You look sleepy.
into town to catch the bus that leaves at 8 a.m. to make sure we have enough time to find it, because we really only vaguely know where it is. So it's going to be a really long day because we have a 5 or 6 hour bus ride, and then I don't have any idea how to get to the place we booked in.
You hear that? Do-da-da. Do-da-da.
No.
Whatever. It's the same donk.
Yeah.
I remember we were sitting in our apartment recently-ish.
In Asakusa.
In Asakusa, wondering why it was beeping. We had never thought about it before. We never lived so close to one of those at one point. And we figured out that it was for the blind people and that they get the music. And that's playing right there. So that's something at that time, if you'd asked me why is that playing, I might have figured out that it was the crosswalk. But the thing we couldn't figure out from our apartment was, why doesn't it just play all the time? And we would have had that same problem there. Like, well, sometimes it's playing, sometimes it's not. And it's because people have to press the button for blindness.
It's not all. Some of them do play every time.
Some of them do?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I haven't
But not all of them.
those.
Some of them only make noise if the button's been pushed.
Cool.
Tokyo. So here we go. I'm really tired. This bus has actually been pretty nuts. I'm sorry, I'm having sleep. This bus is to Tokyo has actually been pretty nice. Brian said that the buses here are really awful, and they'd probably be kind of rough overnight. I was trying to get real sleep, but I mean, by comparison of other buses we've been on, this thing is pretty miraculous. I got lucky, so that I got to sit up front, and up front there's a lot of room for my legs, but other than that, the bus is like really rather comfortable. One thing that's a little irritating is every single hour this bus stops at a rest stop. So you'll be asleep and you'll be like rocking a snooze, and all of a sudden this guy blasts.
I remember that. I remember. I can feel what I'm feeling there. Like I connect with exactly with the mood that I had then and everything. Like I can still remember this day very vividly. And I remember, even though I was tired, it was just strange that I've logged it away, but it was just, I see why I'm saying the buses are nice. I hate the buses now. But compared to like the buses in Laos and Cambodia where people are like peeing on the floors and stuff, like, I mean,
still better.
It's quite nice. Through this sound system, and it wakes you up to tell you that you have to be back on the bus in 10 minutes. And I don't know why we need to stop every hour. I'd rather just get to Tokyo. Okay, so we're in Tokyo, and this is probably the city that I've like looked forward to the most through the whole trip. I've kind of looked forward to coming to Tokyo since I was a teenager, really. Just I don't know why. It's because, you know, it's Japan, it's the future, it's Tokyo, and it's rainy, and we're really tired, and we have really no idea how to get to where we're going, but sure, we'll figure it out. It's no big deal. We've got a room booked for 8 days in
I really don't even have a clue on how to get to it or where it might be. So, wish us luck.
AKB 48.
Hey, Z's.
This is a Pedo Bear store. Everything in here is Pedo Bear's little cousin friend.
This was a constant.
This isn't really Pedo Bear. But
I saw a girl rocking a Real Akuma case for her tennis racket today.
It was a constant source of amusement for us, seeing the Pedo Bears everywhere.
Ooh, yeah. They still sell the Georgia. They don't, that purple Georgia that's in the middle bottom row, they don't have that anymore. I've never had that. There's some off-brand crap in the right-hand side. I've never seen this Blocks. What's a Blocks? I think that Georgia on the left-hand side still being sold. There's a tiny Coca-Cola Zero. I never see those in vending machines because I'd actually pick that up. They're doing the Dr. Pepper, which is
I bet we're about to talk
still
about how rare the
happening.
Dr. Pepper is.
Minute Maid. Yeah.
so every time we see a Dr. Pepper, we document it. So, it's been 3 times, I think. And here is a Dr. Pepper in Tokyo. So Jesse would be able to survive as long as he could find him a block of cheese.
Do you like cheese?
Yeah, you don't remember he'd come over to the house sometimes with a block of cheese and just eat it like a rat? Like I have a giant, he'd have like a 2-liter thing of Dr. Pepper and a block of cheese. It was,
That cheese was just a thing that was in the household, and I would also eat lots of cheese. Coke Zero isn't rare. Well, in vending machines, yeah. But I get it at convenience stores. That's not hard to find. But the smaller ones are hard to find in general. Like once you mix the small and the zero, you're never going to find it.
All right, so we are at our place that we're going to be staying for 8 days in Tokyo.
I remember this being like $500, which
Something around that.
and I remember us being concerned about how expensive it was going to be, but then Etsuko figured out these weekly mansion things, and she somehow helped us figure out how to book one.
And we've basically rented. It's called weekly mansions, where you just rent a room for long term, and you get discount if it's more than 7 days, or long term, 8 days. So we're gonna be here 8 days, so we got a decent deal on it. This is actually going to be more expensive than our room in Bangkok was for an entire month. So keep that in mind. Let's take a look and see what we got.
About to be
The
surprised.
Bangkok room was like 4 times the size.
What we got in Bangkok, I can already tell that.
There's a bathtub.
There's a bathtub. Being pushed in the door. And we've got a sink and a microwave and a bed. We have a vacuum cleaner. I'm going to vacuum the fuck out of this room. Let me tell you what. I got 8 days of vacuuming. This is going to be sparkling. And there's an emergency ladder. And Tokyo is out there.
Wow.
And let's take a look at the toilet. Let's see if it's a robot toilet. It better be a robot toilet. Oh boy, an onsen. That's what I need.
Oh, you got your own shower. If you have
What?
Oh, that must have hurt.
What?
There's no robot toilet.
Oh.
This toilet will not wash my butt.
It's okay though, because I know this is usually bad, but the fact that the shower is so close to the toilet, like if you need to freshen up, it's just a quick shift in a shower.
Oh,
You know what I
really?
mean? Like it's
Did
not
you
that big of a
shift?
deal.
You
Oh,
did.
I always shift.
Always shit.
Yeah, you gotta freshen up sometimes. You know what I mean? You don't want to be soggy back
Did
there.
you, but I mean in this particular bathroom.
I'm sure I did. Yeah. Probably it was summertime, so it was like stanky, sweaty. You know.
It's a necessary shift.
You know that this place that we're staying here is like 2 blocks from our apartment in Asakusa.
You told me that several times, and I never really
It's really close.
took the time to
So
get.
we ended up living very, very close to this for 3 years, 2.5 years, 3 years, something like that.
Okay, so it's our first night in Tokyo, and we have traveled to the Tokyo Metropolitan Government offices, and they have observatories where you can go to the 45th floor and have a free view of Tokyo. Every time that you go to a new city or a new place, there's always that moment that says you're there. So this is the moment that says you're in Tokyo.
Now live that way.
Sorry for the reflection.
Oh wait, no, that way.
Shinjuku.
So the stereotypical look
Oh man, I go on that corner.
is accurate.
I've done that ride. I've been that person.
Future. See this penguin up here?
Bow down. All hail the donkey.
Penguin. And I think we might go visit him.
Oh, I hate
Oh, they're
that Don
really in the
Quixote.
street. Everybody hates that Don
Street
Quixote.
there. Reminds me of Hong Kong a little bit in front of Chungking Mansions.
So we're actually like right in front of. It's funny I say that. We're right in front of
Kabuki.
Kabuki show there.
Whoa. So that's what. Yeah, pause. There were like girl ones of those. They don't really have those anymore. It's more bands. Like I don't see just or like I don't know how to describe it, but like problem things. Like it's just like an animation of some sort of problem that someone's having. I don't know how to explain.
I don't know
it.
what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I know. It's not coming out.
I only ever noticed the band ones.
That's because they're loud. Yeah. One day I'll show you the other ones I'm talking about, but you'd have to see it for me to convey it.
Is it like a picture of a foreigner in the Batsus?
No, but if they were trying to advertise to us, yes.
Are they
Reducing the number of trucks?
potentially advertising foreign stuff? I don't know anything about that at all.
So there's these video games here that aren't really
Kuri-kura.
video games. They're like these big booths and it's like a photo booth. And all the like hip girls go into them and they go behind this like plastic blind and they take pictures and then they can edit the way their hair looks and stuff. You see how this model has got her hair all these different colors and it's like a really big thing. They're all over the place, but a lot of they're in arcades and all the arcades have signs like this. And this shows men are not allowed unless you're accompanied with a female
They were just talking about this on Discord like 2 days ago.
because they don't want men going in there and like creeping out all these girls. Okay, so in Tokyo, there's places where you can just go in and they've like rented an apartment
I
basically.
don't like the way that
and
cat's looking at
outfitted
me.
it with cats, and you can go in and just hang out with the cats. And we went up there to do it, but it was like $6 for 30 minutes each. So we were like, well, that's too expensive, so we didn't do it.
That's how cheap we were. That's how cheap we were.
Well, we already dropped
like $12. Damn, I'm not doing
fuck
something
ton
for
of
$12.
stuff on the hotel room.
This is a sign that shows you that it exists. So if you ever want to hang out with a cat, but you don't want to own a cat, and you don't know anybody that owns a cat, and you're in Tokyo, I know a place. Bring $6.
Yeah. I love that guy.
I know where they're standing. It's that goes under the Yamanote line.
I think I've seen them again.
I do too. They look familiar.
Yeah.
So this is the Sony building in Tokyo, and it's 8 floors, and it's basically like, you know, demonstrations of the different things they have, and I think you can buy them too. I think it's a shop. But you can see up here, like,
Is it still opened?
you can listen to their different headphones.
I was under the impression that it
players and
closed.
some PlayStations, and you can play some games, and they have a whole area dedicated to 3D, and it's lame. And the store, it's just, you'd expect that the Sony building, like the one in the world, would be impressive, and it's kind of not that exciting. It's really just kind of a cluster, like nothing is laid out very well.
They also humiliated my team, and that makes me upset.
Yeah, they have a World Cup display if they put it in 3D,
They've
and
got something against South Korea, and I don't really know why, but they need to change that.
What are you laughing at? You
Now
unaware
now
of-
I'm a little more aware of the situation.
it was wasn't terrible, but it was my expectations of the whole building were much higher. And then there's
Well, you could go inside. Like that's what I'm saying. Like the Nintendo place, you can't go inside Nintendo headquarters or anything. But this, like, you could go in and like they had like again, we don't think it's still open anymore. But it was like a bunch of floors of like demonstrations and stuff, these products and product showcases and things. And it was just like kind of like it felt half-assed, which was surprising for like one of the biggest companies in the world.
It's like a duty-free shop inside.
There is a duty-free shop.
What?
There's Sony clothing. We did not know that. Floor 6 and 7.
There's a lot of trains right here, like way down in the distance.
Do you know where that is? This is fun.
I've seen that Big Apple sign. I would say we're near Akihabara.
Yeah.
Since here, there's 3 or 4 trains there. One of them's the bullet train I saw it go by a moment ago.
The right here on my right hand
there's
side.
that
you can get the
Katsu
cutlet,
sandal.
the Katsu sandal thing. Yeah.
Right here, there's another set of train tracks. And then over here, in the distance, this green thing, there's another set of train tracks here. And below us, there's a underground system that...
See that JR truck going by? Not a train.
This is a little tiny car, and it even doesn't fit in this little tiny garage.
Yeah, it could be vending machines are there.
This restaurant is called Yoshinoya, and they have really cheap bowls of beef with rice on them. And we're about to go
Cheap bowls of beef with her rice on them. Motherfucker doesn't know how to stack a donburi.
So we're inside of this Yoshinoya, and
Steve 2404, thank you for the sub. Here's your honk. And somebody called me a motherfucker, so
Oh, goddamn.
that's what she gets.
Oh, shit.
Thank you. Yeah, I got.
you get this, like, I mean, there's a lot of other things, but this place is a lot like McDonald's, sort of, like a fast food joint. And there's like millions of them all over the place, and there's relatively cheap food. But what we've been eating is probably the stereotypical foreigner dish, and this is like fat.
It's the only dish. It's the dish. This is the standard foreigner one.
Beef. It's kind of like, maybe it's pork, I don't know. It kind of looks like bacon, but it's really good. Like, it's really, really succulent. And it's got almost a teriyaki-based sauce on it, and then it's got rice under it, and it's like $4 for the little bowl, and it fills you up. So that's definitely a good thing. They have these places in the States, apparently. Like, there's a lot of...
This isn't floppy bacon, it's just floppy...
Gyudon.
It's floppy gyu.
Floppy.
I was going to say buta, and I thought it was going to be clever, but then I was like, wait, nah, this is beef.
Katie has also ordered an egg that she has broken, and some...
It's cold.
It's a cold egg, and some miso soup, which I thought was atrocious here, but...
Good.
Really? Huh. I don't mind it now. I mean, it's fine. I don't like look forward to it or
They coulda
anything, but it's
upgraded.
fine.
I'm probably going to have some of that egg, though.
My chopstick game wasn't stupid there,
This
that's
is a
good.
little teeny tiny...
Ooh, this is gone.
Yeah, this doesn't exist anymore.
And all they sell is condoms. And it's really, really busy in there. And by far the weirdest object in there is...
The Rilakuma.
Yikes.
Didn't we buy a pedo bear condom? I think we did.
I don't remember that.
We've
We
owned
probably
one at
bought-
some point.
We did? Oh, I don't remember owning it at all. Where's this?
Sensolji.
Where's this?
But
Oh,
been banging on these drums. And these people in here are praying, and all these other people are coming inside and throwing money into this. You hear they're clanking into this big tray. It's a huge donation tray. And the fellow that everybody was praying, well, he was leading the prayer, is no longer here. He has left. So you've missed the exciting part, but I thought I'd share anyways. This is the outside of that building that everybody was praying inside of. This is a gate leading up to it, or maybe that's a gate going the other direction. You never know. And then
Oh shit! Look at that.
under construction.
Oh. I forgot that it had been under construction. Huh.
that's cool.
Yeah. So we used to live like a 5-minute walk from this. So we know it very well. We know it very well now.
This is a super touristy market area.
Dude, look at the cover. That's not there anymore.
Yeah, the cover's not there.
They've taken that
anymore.
cover thing down.
Wonder why.
Yeah. Maybe it got damaged in a storm or something. God, that's pretty nice. In the summer, anyways. And then if it's raining.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
It's interesting that places like this in like Japan are very, very, very touristy, the same as they would be in the States. But if you go into Southeast Asia, it's actually where people can go to shop in most cases. I mean, there's touristy ones there too, but people actually go to get food at some market areas. Smells really good here though, because there's like a million different types of like food items and stuff that I can't afford because they all start like $7 because we're in Japan. But I can enjoy the odors. And I am looking for a keychain, but I can't find one for less than $5, so I'm not sure that's going to happen either.
Why were you looking for a keychain?
No idea.
So this is supposedly called the Rainbow Bridge, and
So you used to work in a building over there.
Oh, yeah, I can't see it very well.
photos we've seen, it's been a lot more rainbow looking, but not very rainbowed right now. I don't know, maybe they only do it.
The other night when I was there, it was one of the no-he's of Golden Week, and it was a different color. It was blue, I think.
Why were you down there?
Because my TJ plans got
Oh, that's right. We're
out of
TJ,
whack,
so
and we
okay.
ended up at Oktoberfest
That's right.
in May. And that seems about right for my life.
Hey, I'm not really sure. But all the boats that are out here with all the lights on them are very cool looking, and that has been a nice surprise that we didn't expect.
We've been on
And
one.
we think this
Maybe
weekend they're
two.
going to be lighting a bunch of like lanterns and letting them float off into the river, but we're not really 100% sure on that either. As you can tell, we don't really know what we're doing. So, but the bridge is cool, and it just kind of reminds me of like the Bay Bridge.
The thing they did in Odaiba.
And this is all of Tokyo.
Motherfucker says it's October somewhere.
It's October in Odaiba.
Very pretty, and it's very nice outside.
Time zones are really big where he's from. Or really small.
I didn't think walking down the street in Tokyo I would come across a Cambodian refrigerator.
What's going on there?
I don't know.
I found a 100 yen store, which is exactly like a dollar store in the United States. It's really close to me. 100 yen is right about $1, a little more than $1, but they have the same stuff. Like it's the stuff that they can't sell in big department stores or whatever, and they get shipped to the dollar store, and then it gets discounted, and et cetera, et cetera. They have candy in there, and little electronics and socks and things like that. I ended up buying an iPod cable, a couple of batteries for a flashlight,
Keychain?
some soap, and of course some candy that I've never seen before. And it's this.
Ugh.
And it says nothing in English.
You weren't with me. I don't know what you were doing at this point in the day, but I was alone.
There was some time while we were here that I just chilled by myself.
Except for on the very back, you get blueberry marshmallow. So I'm gonna go ahead and try it and see what's up.
I think I'm standing on an overpass.
Yeah, it seems like it.
So this is what you get. God, it smells really good. It smells intense.
How many of those time zones are in October?
It's really good. I mean, it really does just taste like a blueberry marshmallow.
They're not good marshmallows. Ugh. Although, I had one that was Goma flavored.
Oh, yeah, those
that
are good.
was
Those
the
are quite
tits.
good.
Oh my god, that was so good. Never mind. I guess I'm in the marshmallow boat.
That's a damn good dollar spent.
All right, part 1
That was fun.
done. Part 2 now. Let's go. All I want for Christmas is for this thing to open VLC on the same window it closed on.
So we're in Akihabara, I think is how it's pronounced.
Yeah, close enough.
Akihabara.
And it is the electronics
Akiba.
area of Tokyo, basically, where you buy computer stuff and electronics and all that. And seeing as how it's Japan, that's a pretty big deal here. And we are going to wander around and see what kind of stuff we find. I'm sure it'll just be a bunch of stuff we can't buy, but that's okay. Seems about right. Let's go in, right?
Oh boy, I think I know where this is headed.
It's overwhelming.
Alright, so we've been walking around this store and I noticed that they had like a weird bathing suit trend that was going on, and it was just like a bunch of Asian girls, and there were videos that have Asian girls in bathing suits. And I was like, alright, bathing suits. And I turned the corner and you start seeing this. There are hundreds of videos that are...
Shit's fucked up.
That's not a kid.
That's not good, but that is.
She might be. This isn't. I don't understand what's going on. Like, are you serious? Like, there's no way that these little videos are not considered pornographic. They may not be getting naked, but when they're bending over with a balloon attached to their ass, I think that might be a little over the line.
I apparently must have seen that.
Well, we went up another floor and it has turned into nothing but smut. Like 100%. This is just an Asian smut store.
I can't believe I put this on the internet.
So, so the smut floors, it goes up further than I can count by quite a bit.
Emma went in here with her brother once by accident and went through the same experience, but with her brother.
Oh, how did
Same
you
store.
figure out it was the same one?
When we were knocking about it together at some point, we talked about it.
Oh, well, okay. I was going to say, like...
And I was like, yeah, we went in there once too, and it was like, this is not okay.
I'm really surprised that the little girl ones were so far down. Seemed like they should have been on a higher floor.
Okay, you see this girl?
I noticed this. I had looked at the pictures of some of this already. And the maid cafe girls their clothing looks a lot different. Like it's changed a lot. I couldn't describe it off the top of my head now, but I know it's not so French matey anymore.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of variety now.
Yeah, like they all, when you see this, I think we're going to notice that they all kind of look the same.
Definitely a lot of variety. Each time I see one of the maids, I look at them and kind of categorize, like, it'll be blank blank maid as opposed to just maid. That's what this says, is just maid. But now they have like varieties or adjective maid.
So just to like kind of remind everybody, this was when we were doing this, like there was not any travel videos like this on the internet really. So I know sometimes some of the things we might be showing seem like, well, why wouldn't you know about cat cafes and maid cafes and stuff? Like it wasn't as known about on the internet at this point. Like this, all this was just like, what the hell to us? Like it was all new. So I mean, of course, if you'd been here before, you would have known it. But otherwise, there was no way to get like exposure to like that kind of stuff, unless. Like I don't know what avenue you'd have to go down to.
Things that we were watching were not what we were doing, like on the street, random go to see this, do that.
It would be like, here's a temple, and like
it would be like more focused on temples or food or stuff like that.
Over here in the weird costume. She's one of those girls that will like, you pay them money and they take you up to a private room, and this all sounds sexual, but then she makes you a cheeseburger. Something
listens to your story.
A lot of different strange things that they do. Here's another girl. She's handing out flyers.
Well, she's a little.
Yeah, it looks a little more like how they look, but still looks dated to me. I don't know why, but this looks a little dated.
If you ask to take a picture of them,
and yeah, they do look happier now. Like back then, they all look like now they have to like be all perky and stuff. I bet they're not happier though.
They don't get upset. They just say no. So I'm kind of doing this covertly. But yeah, Katie and I are probably gonna do this in a day or two. Do it now, but she's not with me, and I don't know. It just seems seems like something I probably shouldn't do without her there.
All right, so we.
Do you remember how we got? How we did meet?
Some Russian girl.
Yeah, there was a Russian girl on the street, and we're like, "Do you speak English?" Because like we need help. Like, what is this? Like, we didn't want to get sucked into a dungeon or something. We didn't know what was going on.
We've gone to one of these maid cafes that we've heard a lot about and seen a lot about, because there's a lot of girls dressed up in maid cafes on the streets, and they hand out flyers and they want you to come to their cafes. We finally saw a for lack of a better word, white girl that was in one of these outfits. And I was like, maybe she speaks English. I'll go find out what this is all about. So I walked up to her and asked her if she spoke English. She said that she did. And I told her that we wanted to go to a maid cafe and we just didn't know how to go about it. And she said, you know, our maid cafe is up here. And she said that the food was pretty cheap, which it didn't really turn out to be very cheap, but she also said that they make their food with maid magic, and that makes it taste delicious. So she said maid magic, and I was like, all right, we're going. I don't care how much it costs or whatever. So she takes us up to the second floor of a building, and we sit down at a picnic table type table, and all these girls are walking around in maids costumes. Like, the first thing I noticed is one of the maids is kneeling at a table putting ketchup onto like a hot dog. Like, she's kneeling on the ground. You'd never see a waitress do that. And this happened another time where another girl kneeled down to mix a man's coffee. So that was about as odd as it really got, as opposed to just being waitresses at a cafe. The girls are all really nice. When we got our food, we got a piece of cake and we got some soda or iced coffee or whatever. And she came over, she asked us if we spoke English, we said no. So she pulled out
Japanese.
a paper and a little piece of paper.
You just misspoke.
That we were going to use maid magic on our food. And she told us like a little song, and we had little things that we had to do, which she told us to go, muy, muy chin.
Muy, muy chin.
I know that that's not the right pronunciation of anything, but regardless, the cake was really good, and I'm pretty sure that the maid magic is what made it. We honestly thought it was going to be a little more freaky when we went up there than what it was, but it was definitely worth the $12 to go and see these girls doing what they do. We got to talk to the one that speaks English. She said she's been working there for 4 months, and she actually really likes it, so sounds cool.
Wasn't there a white guy up there berating the girls? I have a memory of being in one of these places and a white dude being up there speaking Japanese and clearly being nasty to them and then being like weirdly submissive. And I was like, I'm never coming back to one of these places. This is fucking strange. I can't believe you wouldn't have mentioned that though. So
Yeah,
maybe it was
yeah.
another time. I don't know why I would have gone to a maid cafe again though either.
This is another arcade. It's just an entire building. In addition to the couple of them that were down here and the one I just came out of that was over here. I mean, they're entire buildings. They're massive. I like that it's hard to tell if you're in a porno section or if you're in a toy store. Here it's pretty cut and dry. This is all Gundam stuff, so it's like, you know, figurines and toys and stuff. But downstairs, it's a little different. It's like costumes and they're kind of sexy, so I'm not sure what they're going for here. But here we are. Check out this robot.
This is dope.
I've seen him a couple of times.
What's the name of this game? We're unsure the name of this game, but Eric has it on his DS, and he's actually been playing it today, and this guy is a badass.
Two-player by himself. Normally you only use one stick.
And one drum. Yeah, this guy's awesome.
Gonna sweat.
Get it.
So this arcade is full of shooters, which is completely awesome, especially if you're me, because I'm kind of obsessed with shooters.
I know exactly where I am.
Ever since we got into Korea, pretty much, because we knew they had them there, but I couldn't find one. And we finally found it, and this is my favorite game of all time, Ikaruga, and I have played it, and it is completely amazing in an arcade in Japan. So I can check that off the list.
I'm so happy for you. Get him.
I didn't have my chains down anymore at that point. Like, it had been years since I was really good at it.
This is the building that holds Ikaruga. She wants to make a cheeseburger for me. There's a Dreamcast copy of a Japanese version.
You got the Batsu's, Taka?
And it is about $70. And here is Border Down, which is another.
Oh, jeez, look at the price.
Like $150.
I wonder what they cost now, though. I bet they've gone up.
Oh.
And Trizil is about $70 as well. But they are all very cool games. Japan is amazing. I don't even know what this is.
Bye-bye.
But it's like $250 and it looks like it's from the 30s. I'm not sure what this is, but it says it's for the Nintendo. Or
Family Computer Network System.
And if you look at the picture up here, it's like a Famicom from Japan with it's extra
A real weird remote.
I don't know. It's
controller.
only $10. I'm thinking about just buying it to open it.
Little do I know, it says junk on it.
A bunch of Super Famicoms. Let me tell you, if I was 10 years old and I saw all this, man, my brain would be exploding. I remember reading about all this stuff and like Nintendo Power when I was a little kid, being like, oh my god, how amazing! I'm a dork. I'm still excited.
I'm still kind of excited.
Here's a building that sells nothing but Antec stuff. I wonder if it's...
Fuck's Antec.
They make cases, or they used to make, I don't know if they exist anymore, but Infinity used to sell tons of Antec cases and stuff. So I built hundreds, if not thousands, of computers in those things. I knew the cases really well.
Official Antec building? It's weird, there's like portraits of Antec cases back here. It's odd. Actually kind of surprised.
This is surprising to me to see now. Those are R4 cards for like pirating video games. You can't. I've never again in the time I've been in Japan see anything like that. But again, into life to 130,000 modems. Huh. Super Mario Club. I want to be in that.
To see this here, you don't see a lot of pirating stuff here, but these are all for pirating DS games.
That's a machine.
Like in Southeast Asia, no big deal. In Japan, it's kind of weird. I've seen a couple of these things. They look like hotels, and I could never figure out what they were, but I just realized when I looked up, these are karaoke booths that you rent like a little room for, you know, $1 billion an hour probably, and then you're there with your friends and you have a karaoke. So it's not a hotel, but it's kind of run like...
Pause. Free times 880 yen. I guess that's on a weekday, 1780 on a weekend.
Is it more expensive now?
Pretty good prices. Like if I can do a free time for under 2,000, I'm like, all right.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But that's typically usually on a weekend.
Can you
I don't free time too much during the week.
Can you see what location this was? Did we figure that?
I don't really know if you went back. I don't know if it's necessary.
Let's see. Sometimes it says like the name of the neighborhood or whatever, like on the building.
It might be on the door. Like
But you can't read. It's all
yeah.
like blurry. I was looking at the sign over here on the side to see if I could get any clues. Neighborhood determines price to a degree too,
Yes.
right? What's with the junk label? I've had friends buy stuff and it only has scratch. Yeah, I mean, basically it means that they think it doesn't work or possibly couldn't work or isn't in like good enough condition to sell like at their normal price or whatever. But sometimes you can get amazing deals. Like you'll open it and you'll be like, yeah, like what you said, it's got a scratch on it. And you're like, okay, what? Why is this junked? But sometimes it'll like literally not work. And sometimes they'll write what they think is wrong with it on there or whatever.
Those are student prices.
Oh yeah, they are.
Look like hotels, and I could never figure out what they were, but I just realized friends and you have a karaoke, so it's not a hotel, but it's kind of run like one. This copy of Virtual Bart is $474. What?
To get the fuck out music's playing.
Yeah. Ooh.
I love the city rats. He's so brave.
What did he get?
Pasta as Katie loved it too.
All right, let's get into part 3.
So we wandered up the street from where we.
Dude. Kitakata ramen.
Kita katara.
I ate there like 10 times on this trip. On that stay.
Kita ramen. Interesting.
And we came to this little
Kanji.
ramen.
It's the name of a place. I could have like Tochigi or something.
I still stand by my story that this is not my jam. And it's because I'm not a Shio girl.
I don't love it anymore, but I did. It was good at the time.
It was
Yeah, it was. I loved it. It was really good. But I've gone back and it's fine, but it's not like mind-bending good.
That's what it looks like in here. And we've got some dumplings, and they're pretty good. But the ramen is unbelievable. It's really, really just incredible.
Those noodles look really good though.
I'm sure we will be back here because I am very happy about what I'm eating. And another thing that is a little peculiar here.
I want to see the price.
Here comes out,
Mookie chop.
and it looks like tea, but it tastes like coffee.
Mugicha.
Can't do the math on that.
Right now we're hanging out at the Tobacco and Salt Museum in Tokyo. It's not really sure why we
Extreme close up.
now we're looking at like old cartoons
Fukushima.
and like the different names that they all had and stuff like that, like really old ones, like things I've never ever heard of. And hopefully we're gonna get some free cigarettes at the end. That's what I'm hoping for. Sadly, we did not get free cigarettes. I'm pretty disappointed, but
Should have just bought some puffed away.
vending machines, I think we'll be all right. All right, so we're hanging out in Tokyo.
This looks familiar.
and We're in an area that is called Love Hotel Hill, and Love Hotels
Shibuya.
are basically places that you rent for like 90 minutes, a couple hours. You can stay in them for pretty cheap from what we're seeing, but people basically just come here to have sex. And we've read that like you can stay in like fantasy rooms that are like a dungeon or stuff like that. So we're walking around seeing what we can find, and maybe we'll find one suitable. So this is a typical Love Hotel. There are ones that are a little more discreet, but this one is not discreet. It's
Looks like a bounce house.
We turned the street and we were like, that's where we're walking. These are the prices. We haven't really figured out what that all means yet. They usually have like pictures that'll show you like what's going on in the rooms and what rooms you can get, and they'll have a screen and it'll light up like what rooms are still available. We've already gone into this place and found out there are no rooms available. So
Give
Hold
you
me
some
live.
sweet chicken love.
Thank you for the sub.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
there's a lot of people getting it on in this place. I don't know what that
Mikado.
Okay, so this is the screen that shows you the rooms that are available. So whatever is lit up is still available. So you could enjoy this lovely room, or this lovely room, or
They're really not that interesting looking though.
It's
Like,
true. We came to that conclusion
we
that
went-
finding a weird
Yeah.
love hotel is pretty hard.
Yeah, and we were like, oh yeah, we want to find like a weird something just like with crazy shit, and it was just like, let's just like a hotel room. It's not that interesting.
Yeah. And I think it's just because these ended up becoming somewhat mainstream, and by mainstream I mean that like regular couples were going to them. It wasn't just freak bitches.
It was. I had it explained to me that they did a shift in the marketing from marketing them towards men towards marketing them towards women.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
color is blue, or if your favorite color is orange.
We've done the deed in many love hotels at this point.
What's going on there,
But not like in the afternoon at a love hotel. Like we just when we stay
Yeah.
at them.
True.
they have a costume collection, so I'm assuming that
To be completely honest with you, I don't know if we have really done the deed in very many love hotels. They're usually gross. Usually we go in them and we're like, it smells like cigarettes, or we've been traveling
There's
all day and
definitely
we just
been
go
a
to sleep.
few.
I really don't know if I've ever gotten down in a love hotel.
We have.
I've slept
I can
in a
tell
love
you
hotel
that,
for sure.
That's true. But you are right. Like, our focus is usually like what we're doing.
Yeah.
And
It's not the deed.
yeah.
they're telling you you can dress up like whatever you want. I don't know if in our videos we have professed our love
It's my
for
birthday.
Indian food, but oh god, we love Indian food.
Where were we
Why is
on
there
your
a knife
birthday
and a
that year?
fork here?
Where did you spend your
Korea.
birthday? Was it in Korea?
We went to the chicken hall.
Naan, which is this bread right here, is as long as my arm almost.
That's half an arm.
Right now.
Still look good.
We've come over to, I don't know the geography of this area, so I have no idea where we are, but we took a train to get here, and we're going to the National Museum of Emerging Science and Technology or something like that. We find some fun stuff to do in there, and it isn't lame like some other ones we've been to.
We're in Odaiba, right?
Japanese fashion, what we've got is some more robots. And these are the creepiest things I've ever seen. You're supposed to talk into this and then they're supposed to react, I guess based on your voice. But I'm sure my voice isn't doing the right tones for them to understand. But they're really creepy. Look at this thing. Robot, 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 robot. Robot, 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 robot.
It's working pretty good.
I don't like it at all.
I'm frightened. Okay, so this big thing is basically explaining how binary systems work and how data is transmitted. And as you can see, there's white balls and black balls, one for a 0, one for a 1, obviously. And then it's just, 8 by 8 and all that nonsense, and it turns it into a message. And you can send a message, like select what letters you want it to say, and then it shoots them around, and then they come out like at the other side so that people can read the message. It'll display it right here. And it's just seems like a really complicated way to explain and how the internet functions. But it's Japan for sure.
It might be my icon.
These little games are showing different input methods.
Mid icon?
Pulling on reins of a horse, and a horse is running.
What'd you say?
It might be
Mid icon?
mid icon.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And there's a steering wheel. And this guy's got a joystick for his UFO. And this guy's got a coffee mug for his...
Oh yeah, I remember that coffee mug.
Not really sure. And then this is a little keyboard for the keyboard. Again, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense either. You can draw shapes on this electronic board here.
It's cool.
This thing looks cooler than it is. It's really just projecting it from up here and then mirror and then down onto this board. So you can see my hand covers up the light. Okay, so what's going on here is this little robot is got some cameras on it, and you can see up on the screen these people are all in this room and they're seeing what the robot sees in 3D. And this guy is just doing things like screwing with them, like putting like a stuffed seal in front of it. And you can see what the robot and what they are seeing there. And it looks like what they're sitting in is moving. So we're gonna go check this out in just a minute. I'm not sure if they're controlling the movement of the robot or what's doing that, but that should be interesting. And then over here they've got another robot and it's hooked up to some PlayStation controllers. And these girls are just moving it around, but it doesn't look all that
That
exciting.
one's pretty cute.
I've seen a couple people use it and it just kind of does that.
That girl was admiring your height.
Must do.
This machine right here has a ball in it, and he is going to shoot it into that thing over there, and maybe it'll catch it. So here we go. Ah,
Dark days for robots.
I think it's flicking you off.
Get it. Yes!
I want one of those.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
The bathroom doors at this lotteria are a little bit different. They slide. And then you go into this dome-shaped room to use the bathroom. And again, futuristic toilets.
It's really messy in there.
So this is the Toyota City Showcase, and I don't have any idea what's in here, but it's gonna be cars, I suppose. Let's do it. I'm on the wrong side of the car.
So here at Toyota Mega Web, you can get into all the cars that they have sitting out, and they've got a whole bunch of little exhibits.
Does this place still exist?
Oh,
That could be
last I checked,
that could be
yeah.
fun to live stream.
So we're gonna go and play with
It's a
all,
long way though.
see what all of these little compartments do, and probably break stuff.
We're going to be learning about VDIM, which is Vehicle Dynamics Integrated Management. It's basically just like anti-lock brake systems and
Oh, that looks fun.
things of that nature. They put you in one of these pods here, and you get to drive for 2 minutes with it off, and then she turns it on. You get to drive with 2 minutes with it on to see the difference. And yeah,
It's closed. That's a bar.
fun. What we have here is the ugliest car in the world. Let's get a look inside.
That thing is dope.
What's important to note,
Don't miss the Southwestern decor.
Southwestern decor is something to be had. And look at these buttons. Look how rancid all this
Oh, God.
Oh, I love it.
horribly hideous. And then there's this feature.
Morgan out.
There's no window.
Here's an interesting idea. The front door opens kind of like a minivan. So we're in a brand new Lexus in Japan, and they still have a mini disc player. This is like a supreme feature.
2010, guys.
What's going on with that, Japan? That ain't right. Here's a bit of a weird thing. You see this black fellow over here. He was here last time we were in this neighborhood, and it appears that these stores, maybe he owns it or was, family owns it or something, but that just doesn't seem accurate. It seems more like that the stores are paying black guys that sell hip hop style clothes to stand out front and just stand there and be what they are. And this isn't the only place I've seen this. I've seen it in other places. So that's a weird job right there.
The funny thing is that most of them are Nigerians and they're selling like American style hip hop clothes. Was that LFA? I don't know what LFA means.
This is a Russian Orthodox church.
Ruthin. Do you know where that is?
I think I walked by it recently.
I was over there recently,
And,
yeah.
Near Itabashi? No, it's not near Itabashi. I walked from Kanda to Shinjuku, and before you get to Itabashi, this is on the way.
Yeah.
The Chuo line is happening near
Yeah,
here.
you're not wrong.
And we were on the other side of the Chuo line, and I saw just the top of it, and I looked up that it was a church.
Yeah, basically. You're right.
It is. For some reason
Damn.
in Tokyo, apparently some Russian guy lived here and built it. And it's really out of place and really kind of interesting looking. In a continuation on my series I'd like to call Parking in Japan, this is a different type of paid parking I don't think I've covered. As you can see, that this little thing here is like this. You back over it, and this little piece comes up and stops it from the car going forward until you come over here and pay the man in your parking bot paying device.
80 yen, wow.
Yeah, wow.
Hit whatever number you're parked in, and it releases your automobile.
That was concise.
Mare.
Let's look. Like a CVS, but whoa.
I feel like the Kusuris have calmed down.
Yeah, maybe I agree with you. I don't know if I think it looks more busy than it is now. I've been in, when you go into Tokyo, like into the 23, it's pretty busy in a lot of places.
Like
Somebody-
just at the
Somebody said, why does it feel more busy?
like what?
Somebody
what,
said,
what is
why does
more
it,
busy?
the,
What's it?
the scenes of this,
Oh,
the streets and stuff, I assume. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
whoa. Sounded louder.
You're not supposed to wear that outside.
It's a
You
faux
went
pas.
to McDonald's.
I did.
So it's
Is that embarrassing?
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, you knew at the time. You just didn't care.
Yeah, I wanted whatever we were going to go do, and
Yeah.
I didn't want to put clothes on.
Yeah, you just didn't give a shit.
12:30.
You see where you're walking?
I am on one of the bridges.
So this one, the bridge one, a blue one, Azumabashi. Was this the one where you found the guy?
No, it's way down
Oh, okay.
the other way, or further.
And Katie has decided we needed to go to McDonald's.
Katie didn't decide.
Katie decided we were going to McDonald's. She's gonna get hit by some bikes. And here we are walking along, and she decided to just wear her Japanese robe that has been provided. She looked good. She looks good. I'm not lying. I'm not. There's no sarcasm in my voice. You are looking good, woman.
I'll take you to a love hotel.
Come to a park, and the book says that weird things happen on the weekend, so we decided just to head over here and
Listen to Sammy.
determine what happens over here. And we went to
Oh.
the path that was the most shady path, and this is what has happened.
This is before they evicted all the homeless people.
There's seriously a shanty town in this public park. Like, there's just tons of people set up, like, campus set up, clothes are drying, like, it looks like people live here. Like, this is not just a summer thing or whatever. Like, this is a all the time thing. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but this is a little strange. We have not come to a public park and found a village in it yet. So, today's the day. Our book said that you might see musical things going on. We've already seen a few people playing bongos. This is a larger set of people. They did have a supporter dancing on the right. She's taking a break.
Some people are living vastly different experiences than me. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't even know what's happening there. That's so...
Yeah, it's still Tokyo.
Yeah, it's Yo-Yo-Gi-Con. It is true. Like, if you go on weekends, there'll be people doing things that it's just... You see them practicing things that are abnormal, kind of, to see out in public. But not in a bad way or anything. It's just... You can't practice playing like some specific
Instruments,
or
large
something. Like this
chucking
guy's
items.
juggling. Like, how could you juggle in your little
Yeah.
apartment or something? So it's kind of neat just to see everybody's hobby like out. Yeah, it's cool for people watching.
So from what we can tell, people kind of come to this
Yeah, it's definitely like Central Park. Like, it's Japan. That's Japan's Central Park for sure.
place to show off what they can do with their random trade of instrument or prop or whatever, and the juggler's probably the best that we've seen thus far.
Yeah, you said show off, but I don't think people are showing
Yeah,
off.
I agree.
Yeah, I would reframe that.
I think I was thinking of it more from the perspective of America, where you'd be able to tweak those skills at your house, and that's why I see it as a show-off situation, but people are not able to do that at their houses. This is seriously where they get to actually practice that thing that they really want.
Yeah.
The microphone's gonna pick this up, but these guys are playing didgeridoos over here, which is kind of the most obscure item I could think of to have in the park. There's a jump rope over there. Here at the park, they have a dog park. And
Oh, we've gone to that dog run many times.
We were there like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
and having a good time. It's actually the first time I've ever been to a dog park that actually had dogs in it.
Are you inside of it?
Dogs over there, but there's a lot of pinschers and
I am inside of it.
lots
Yeah.
of poodles, couple of wiener dogs. Over they have them split into small and big, and over in the big one, over there is a bulldog, and I played with him because he was awesome. And there's a wiener dog right there, and there's some other dogs over there. There's one of those big lanky dogs. It's really, I don't know what it's called, but
Probably
it's all
fast dog.
stoic and whatnot. And this is the dog park, and I'm pretty much in heaven right now. There are also saxophones in the park. Pretty much everywhere you turn, there's something new going on. It's a really cool park. We got a water gun fight that's getting ready. Not really sure if there are teams or whatever. This water gun fight is on.
Am I not there? Oh, no.
There he is. Oh!
Awesome. Oh, I totally got that.
Did he hit him with a water balloon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tough man, hey, what's going on? Thank you. Hope you have a good day at work.
So on Sunday down in
Bye.
this park in Tokyo, these cosplay kids, which they dress up like in costumes
This is sort of not a thing anymore.
and
Not to this degree, anyway.
that type of thing. And they come down and they just hang out, and apparently it's like a big social event for them.
Right
but
outside of
it's turned into a
Harajuku
tourist
Station.
attraction where like all these Westerners are standing around taking photographs. And it's a little weird because, I mean, they're not goth in a sense, but they do look peculiar in the same manner that goths in America do. But you'd never have a crowd of people like taking pictures of goth kids. So, you know, yet again, Tokyo, you're weird. This is what we're looking at. I mean, people are like asking you to take photos with them and
What
stuff.
the fuck has
It's
she
almost
got in
like
her
Disneyland
hand?
characters or something. It's really
Camera.
It didn't look like a camera.
It's like the camera I'm using right there to make the video.
No. It would look different. Or maybe she had it sideways?
or something. It's really odd.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this. Was pretty cool.
Yeah.
はい、回って回ってさらに形を変える形を変える。さあそこから
I don't know if I've seen somebody do something like that since then. That's pretty dope.
選手が第一伊藤有希の大きな口を下す。頑張れ。スタート。
So graceful looking.
さあ高難易度なトリックとそして驚異のメイク率そしてオリジナリティすべてで決勝残ってまいりました先行の池田貴弘まずは一本をメイクさあ決勝戦もやはりスピンですねそうださあ彼の持ち味スピンさあここから落ちないさらにつなげていきますさらにつなげていきますああ向きが変わっておペダルをさあ
Wow.
We're back at the observatory that we were at the first night. And
The view of this is so much better during the day.
during the day, and it's just gigantic.
Yeah.
In the background, we can actually see the tip of Mount Fuji, which I think this will be the closest that we get to seeing it because we just don't have the time to travel the 5 hours there in one day to really only stay for like 2 hours. So,
5 hours.
Fuji is right there.
You can't see it in the video at all.
I can see it.
Really?
Yeah.
Can't see it.
Oh, I can see. Okay, I see. Like, I think cloud.
The park that we played around in yesterday looks like this from above. And in the middle of the concrete jungle that is Tokyo, it's pretty lush looking.
Look how big the city is. It's nuts.
So we're here at Denny's because we've finally given in and we're hungry and it's on the way to where we're going. So Denny's in Japan.
Yeah.
One thing that we've noticed about the menu is there is no
Yeah.
breakfast. There is. Show me breakfast. Ah, you found an egg.
Yeah, there's an egg. French toast.
That looks good. Anyways, so it's appropriately priced for a Denny's. I actually kind of think that it's kind of cheap for what you would be getting. So we're gonna see how this
Hasn't
food goes,
changed.
and maybe Japanese Denny's is amazing. And
But look at all the curry.
We're just
All the
stupid.
dishes are strange.
yeah, we got like South African curry.
That sounds good. I'd get that shit.
There's like 400 different types of curry, and I don't think you'd ever imagine in the States seeing curry at Denny's.
世界の国 got it.
Here we go. All right, so my Denny's adventures ended up with a onion soup, tuna salad.
What's happening at the Denny's in New Zealand? Don't come? What, I mean, is that a threat? What happens there?
We're gonna them's fighting words.
And some french fries. We have yet to find out what's going on with Eric's dish. It's a curry egg thing that they cooked in the oven.
I think it's like a scrambled egg, like an omelet, and then there's a curry and rice. But it's really hot, so it's hard to taste it.
There's rice? Huh.
It's the lowest level of food you can buy. That's kind of the point of Denny's.
It smells real good.
Yeah, it seems alright.
So Eric just put some money in this Pedo Bear vending machine here. And what did you get?
It's taped. I got.
So irritating.
It is irritating.
Put 200 yen in there. Are you done yet? Oh, look how little he is.
You're like, Uma isn't Pedo Bear? Mm-hmm. Keep telling yourself that.
Musical instrument shops, like hundreds of them. It seems like this one, and it goes up 3 or 4 flights, and then across the street, and that one goes
That's where I bought my guitar.
in the basement 2 floors, and then up.
I can't remember the name of this area. It's O something.
Ochinomizu.
Which is amazing.
And then there's one around the corner over this way, and it goes on and on for blocks. It's pretty crazy.
I feel like a lot of them have gone out of business.
Taxis. Look at the old taxis.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of really custom weird guitars and stuff to look at, and everything, even like the really basic stuff even the really basic stuff that you'd see in the States for a couple $100 is like $500-$600 here. It's really expensive.
The yen was not in our favor at that point.
It's not where you tune. I mean, that's not totally new. That's 80s style, but look where you do tune in the body. And then this also has an auxiliary input and a headphone jack, which is, I've seen a headphone jack before, but an auxiliary input, I guess. It's odd. Here's a double neck guitar. One's a 6-string guitar and one is a bass.
It's weird.
I've never seen that before. Makes sense though. This is basically like Japanese fast food. It's just a pork
Where are we?
like a curry-based gravy and rice, and this is like $6, so it's a little steep, but it is Tokyo. If you haven't noticed, Tokyo's expensive.
It's really not expensive.
Yeah, but we were so used to having like $2
Yeah, I know.
meals.
We were eating $2 meals, so
Yeah.
$6 was a lot.
Anyway, but it's really good. It's filling and it's very flavorful.
It looks filling.
It's not something that you taste in the States, but it's not something that's offensive to our taste buds by any means. It's almost like it's like a pork chop with Indian stuff, Indian curry, and mixed with a
Ooh, people would argue with you.
but it's wholesome and good.
That's okay.
That's a hug. Oh my.
That's more than a hug.
It escalated.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay. We'll have one more episode when Katie comes back from the bathroom, and for the time being, it's just us, guys. Back then, 2002. Yeah, I mean, we were just, long-term traveling or whatever, and when you're in Thailand and you eat a meal for $1 and then you come to Japan, you eat a meal for $6. Well, that's 6 meals in Thailand. That's how we were thinking at the time. Like, what does everything cost when we were in Thailand? That's what we adjusted to because we were there for like 3 months. So like we were constantly comparing, like, how many nights in a hotel would this be in Thailand? Oh my God. Like, this is one night in Japan is a week in Thailand, that kind of thing. Would I still recommend the Japan of today? I mean, I live here, so I think so, yeah. What do you mean specifically by recommend the Japan of today? The exchange rate. Wait, yeah, and now Japan is a better deal because like what Taco was saying, the exchange rate is in favor of people visiting Japan. But at the time we were here, I think it was like 110 yen to the dollar, or 90 yen to the dollar. So a dollar would only buy 90 yen, so it made it a little bit more expensive. How'd it go?
Pretty good.
Cool.
It was very successful.
Look at me. I remembered to flip the thing back. I feel like a genius. Would you visit today, or when you did, if you were doing it for the first time again? If I'd never been to Japan and I had the opportunity to come, yeah, I would come. But I wouldn't, like, I don't know. You know, it's hard for me to say that. Would you retire to Thailand? I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what our lives are going to be like.
Deter me would be the medical system. But I could see a nice life there.
Get your headphone. Taco.
Yep. To the air. Take it to the air.
That's rare that this would happen, that it would go into the actual song. It looks a lot different. Wow, they've changed it a lot.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Some of it's the same, but a lot of it's different looking.
So I was just walking on the street and I ended up at a baseball game.
Cute.
I knew nothing when I went in.
To me, this seems odd. Like, there's two teams playing clearly. And then way over here is the team that's at Bats fans, and the team that's in the field is where I'm sitting. I didn't realize that you would split a stadium like that. Like, in the States, like, you know, one team could be from Seattle and the other one could be from Los Angeles. Clearly, there wouldn't be enough people to fill up the opposing or the visiting team.
Do you feel that at the stadium, it's always the same side that is the Swallows side?
I don't know.
Well, I got in an argument with someone about this.
Oh.
And Joel won.
Is it always the same?
It switches sometimes.
It switches sometimes?
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder why.
I don't know why. I still don't believe it.
Can you visit the Japan of this time? There's nothing wrong with the current Japan. Like, I think it's totally worth visiting. If you've never been to Japan, come to Japan. It's amazing here.
Seats. So I'm assuming maybe both these teams are from...
I love that I went into this blind. I remember coming, you weren't with me this night. I just walked in and was like, oh, I can go to a baseball game. And it was cheap. It was like 1,000 yen or something. It's like, okay, I'll go to a baseball game. And I remember going back and explaining to you all the stuff and how, like, it was like, and then this happened and then this happened and then the umbrellas came out. And
Something good happened for the outfield. Maybe both these teams are from Tokyo or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. One of the teams is called the Swallows, and the other team, I haven't figured that out yet. Okay, so now my side is up the bat here, the Swallows, and everybody over here is being more rambunctious than they were before. And I have figured out the other team name. They are the Tigers. So we've got the Swallows.
Oh, you went... Wow.
What?
How did you luck into that? You randomly got a seat at a Swallows, Tigers, Hanshin Tigers game. Wow.
is that usually sold out?
Yeah, it's definitely sold out. I mean, as you can tell, it's packed. And I recently looked up going, and it was packed even for not...
This year is different because it's the last year they're playing in the... I bet it's going to be hard to get
And they
tickets.
also had the WBC, which kind of pumped people's nads about going to baseball games. So, yeah.
Where was Katie during this game? I don't know what you...
I was probably vegging. I need a certain amount of vegging.
Don't know if you do anymore.
I don't think I get it anymore.
Couldn't possibly be more generic. I don't know why, but there's a large group of people over here with Canadian flags, and they are not Canadian looking. They're definitely Asian. So maybe one of the players on this team is Canadian.
Yeah, it must have been a player.
Keaton logo looks great.
So the team of I'm on the side of the arena with the home team, and the people over here are significantly less enthused than the people from the away team, which is interesting. And it's funny because they have the announcer, like, that is explaining intricacies and stuff. She's Japanese, so she's explaining, like, who's coming up to bat and, like, anything that happens. But if something good happens, it's an American guy that comes on, and he's like, he'll be like, fine play, and they'll show the word fine up on this big screen. Or he'll be like, strikeout, and they'll show a giant K up on the screen. It doesn't make sense. It's funny watching them try to integrate English in, and they're using the word fine instead of excellent or great. It's this weird choice of words. So my team over here just scored a run, and everybody got umbrellas out. They're pumping umbrellas up and down.
It's still kind of unbelievably adorable.
Yeah.
Go, go, Swallows!
They're singing their theme song for the Swallows, and half of it is in Japanese, and half of it is in really bad English. And the cheerleading team is a bunch of little girls, like 7-year-olds, called the Sparkles. This girl has got like a portable keg strapped to her back, and she's got a dispenser that she hangs on the front of herself.
750 yen.
Out of it.
I'm almost certain it's more than 8 now. That person is crawling out.
So my beloved Swallows lost 11-4, so that was pretty depressing, if I cared. And what's intriguing is like how polite they are as a group of people, just the Japanese people that would be when they're cheering. They're like super polite about it, and they're really like they're excited, but they're not really super excited. And it almost seems like they're kind of at the baseball game just to cheer, and they're not necessarily there for the team. It's strange. It was an interesting environment, a lot different than the Korea World Cup game, let me tell you that.
We've since been back to this baseball stadium multiple times to see games. Like, actually, I think it's the only place I've ever seen a game in Japan. I don't think I've been to another stadium.
I haven't.
And they're tearing it down, I think, at some point after this season, which is a bummer because it's one of the oldest stadiums, like, I think, like, in the world or something. And it's like one of the few places that still exists that Babe Ruth played in. And the vibe of that place is amazing. And apparently when they redevelop it, they're tearing down a bunch of trees and putting up skyscrapers and stuff around it, which sucks because the vibe of that place is great. Like, it's just really open. You're in the middle of the city, but you have this huge open view of the sky and stuff. It's really a cool place to see. I don't know when baseball season, how late it goes, but I still do want to see. If we can go, we should go. I want to go to one more game there before they rip that building down. But time, when are we going to go?
Gotta book it.
Out for the balls. Those are words to live by. So here's a
Oh, God. You weren't here for this, were you?
I thought I saw a wet seat the other day and was like, ooh.
one. See this stain on this seat? There was this like posh looking girl sitting here, and I mean she just looked like this normal everyday like trendy girl, and she had really short shorts on and like a shirt that was like longer than the shorts, and she started squirming around and like pulled the shirt down like past her shorts and had her hand like in her crotch, and it was really awkward. I was like, whoa, what's this brought up to? And then she's squirming around and she's trying to take off her shorts and like cover herself up a little bit, but I mean she's not doing a very good job of covering herself up. So I mean I'm like sitting here trying not to like look directly in front of me. And then she eventually stands up and comes and sits right next to me, and there's like lots of other spaces to sit. And she's like kind of like gawking at me awkwardly. And I glance over, and that's when I see, that puddle. And I'm like, whoa, what happened here? And then she sits here for a while, and, I move my bag over, because, I don't want her puddling all over my bag. I don't know what's going on with this broad. And we ride a couple more stops, and the lady that's sitting there, next to the puddle now, she gets on and sits right in the puddle. I'm like, oh, God. I want to be like, look, don't sit in that puddle. But, she's going to think I peed there, So she just instantly notices it's wet and scoots over. So sucks to be her. She doesn't know what's going on, though. She probably just thinks it's a soda or something. So the girl that's sitting next to me that left the stain in the seat, she, a couple stops later, really, nervously, gets up and darts out the door. And, on her way out, she drops her ticket. This little thing down here is her fare card to get out of the subway. So I'm not sure what drug she was on, but she is not having a good evening.
You see the girl look at the thing. So after I made that video, I stopped people.
It's still so crazy.
After I made that video, I stopped people from sitting in the puddle. But it was just awkward because I couldn't really express myself to them or anything. But anyway,
This is a pair of underwear that says "I love Dad" with a sparkly heart on it. Only in Japan. Also, there's these nubbins here.
Those are pretty sweet.
Nothing wrong with that.
Those are really expensive.
Nubbins don't come cheap, Katie.
Is
Neither did Dad's.
from the dollar store a good idea or a bad idea?
So we
That's where we end up with.
store and we managed to find these every burger. We're not really sure what's gonna happen, so Eric, will you pull out the little cartridge? This is lovely. Oh my.
It's just really chocolatey.
It's chocolate with little biscuits and sesame on top.
I don't know what I don't know what this feature is, the cheesy part.
Is it chocolate?
I think so. Yeah, it is. It's just
The sesames are weird. Those are real sesames.
It's pretty cute.
I'd say I like them. They taste like Milanos. If you
Yeah.
like Milanos and don't want to pay the hefty price, just come to Japan. Go to the dollar store.
It is surprising that not individually wrapped.
I'm going to take this opportunity to complain about the Tokyo subway system. It's really extensive. It'll get you anywhere
Really expensive or extensive?
Extensive
Oh,
is
okay.
what I heard.
you need to go in the city. There's a gazillion stops. The thing that's stupid about it is that there's two different subway systems, essentially. They're owned by two different people, we think, or two different companies. And if you go from one to the other, you have to buy a specific transfer ticket.
This is all eliminated now. You don't have to deal with this shit anymore. This was
Suica.
back in today's stuff, so it was pain. It was a pain in the ass.
I wonder if it still exists for people who aren't using Suica.
It might, but even back then, I'm not sure when they merged them. But the Suica and Passmo used to not work with each other. Like at some point, they were different systems, so you would have to carry two different cards with two different charge levels and all this nonsense. But all of this is that I'm going to complain about probably doesn't exist anymore.
Instead of just paying the fare that's listed on the board, you have to click an extra button. It makes no sense. It should just know. Every other subway system in the world, you look at a big map and you click on where you want to go, and it prints your ticket, and you put in your money, and it prints your ticket, and you're done. Here, you have to look up on a board that's usually not in English, but we can usually figure it out. It's not a big deal. But look up on this big board and then pick where you want to go. And then if it's a line transfer, which you just kind of have to know, you then have to click an extra button in the interface so that it'll print the correct ticket.
And I don't think I'm talking about JR and Metro. I think I'm talking about Metro and another.
Oh, the
I can't.
gosh, I don't even know how to distinguish. There's the
Tolzai line.
Oedel,
Yeah.
and three of its friends, and then all the other ones are in a different group.
Yeah. It's all merged. Now it's all much more seamless. You don't even have to really think about it.
What does it matter to the user if it's owned by two different people? Who cares? Just let me get on the subway and go. I don't care who gets the money. It's really odd, but it's not horrible in any other way. That part's just kind of annoying. Okay.
So We used to live in that building.
Yeah, just like here for a second. Oh my god, the sky tree's not there.
I know the sky tree is not finished yet. It's like being constructed in this.
This is like two parts of my life colliding. Oh man.
Azumabashi is like under construction or something too. They're doing something to it. So yeah, like so we would have moved into that building. So we filmed this in 2010, and we would have moved into that building in 2018.
Oh no, not 4.
2018 after Europe.
Yes, 2018.
So we would have moved into that building in 2018, and we lived there until 2020.
So you would have told us, hey, so like 17, 18 years from now. No, is that right? 10 to 18, 7 to 8 years
7
later.
to 8 years, yeah.
You'll move in there.
Yeah, and I mean I can literally see our balcony in this shot, or very close. One of them. It's hard to tell exactly which one, but like kind of behind the Golden Poo was exactly where our apartment was. What floor did we live on? 11?
11.
Okay, so this thing is supposed to be owned by the Asahi Beer Company, and let me just read you what it says in the Tokyo tourism guidebook here that they give you.
The trash truck still makes that noise.
A beer glass with an adjacent big golden object. I don't even know what it is. We've been trying to figure it out for like a week. It's a mystery.
We didn't know it was called the Poo at that point.
So down the street from where we were staying in Tokyo, these pugs are always in this window. Got us some window pugs. It's like where they live. They've got a little fan to keep them cool. And Katie is constantly enthralled. I like the way he's looking at me.
Was he looking at you? Because it seemed like it was going...
Pugs are kind of looking everywhere.
Not at you. You getting a snack? Ooh, giraffe snacks.
You don't want your chips being busted up.
It's just kind of him.
Giraffe snacks.
Recommends this.
What are you gonna do about your drink?
You said no to that this evening.
Yeah, I did.
That
Coke.
package is going to someone. I was sending that. Don't remember what was inside though.
I think it was just a bunch of stuff to send to like family or something. Okay. Yeah, Katie was mailing like a.
It was just like a
care package type
package
thing.
to
Yeah.
people.
Your mom had sent one, so maybe that's why you were sending one back or something. I don't know. All right, this is probably just a picture of. Oh, look, it says Kitten-san.
Doka desu.
300 yen. That's kind of cheap. Yeah, it feels cheap. The
I think they're like 3, 6, 7, and 9.
the Dr. Pepper. Okay, so here, like this is where we stayed. This is where we lived. Like this is Azumabashi. So like it was just there before the next bridge. So it's just coincidental that building that I pointed out a few minutes ago that we lived in was just here.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and like we're walking across that bridge to go back to the place. I think this is us on the. So this was us arriving in Tokyo, and then this is us taking a picture so we can find the place.
Yeah.
And then this is us walking there, okay. And then this is that sculpture with that girl with her ass out, and Azumabashi is in the background, and so is the Golden Poo.
I used to go by that bitch when I'd hit last train to the not close. Oh, there's a turd in the background. To the not closest. Like I couldn't make it to Asakusa Station.
Yeah.
I could only make it over to Kuramae.
Yeah.
And yeah, so she would be my, well, you're finally home.
And then there's a picture of me with the Golden Poo.
And you could probably...
And our apartment is one of these-ish in this area that we ended up living in. It's really weird. It's one of the very first pictures we took in Tokyo. It's like the first picture of one of us in the city that we have, and it happens to be in front of a place that we ended up living in. It's weird.
I still laugh when I tell people the story of going and deciding to live in that apartment.
We opened the door and it was just like...
It was just like, well, I'm laughing too hard not to say yes.
I don't know why I put all these pictures of this in here, but... Oh, we're walking towards it, I think. Yeah, and now we're underneath of it. It's a bad picture of you, but you know where you're standing, right?
That's City Hall.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to parse exactly where I am. I don't feel like I'm in the middle of the...
You're on the stairs, like right by the entrance to our... Like above the... You go out of the entrance of the building, and you go up those stairs, and you're right there. Like that's where other people would stand and smoke and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like I've aged in just a few seconds watching us for 13 years, half your life. And then this is essentially the view that we used to have.
Yeah.
Just this plus 11 floors. Like go 11 floors up, and this is what the view out of our window was for those 2 or 3 years. Your face looked longer.
Had a bit of a horse face.
You had a bit of a horse face. Mm. You told me earlier that you were chubby then.
I was chubby.
What are you talking about? We look great.
We look great.
And then this picture to me it's just, we saw it in the video as well, but the fact that, look at the sky tree, like over here, it's still under construction. Like they haven't finished it. It's kind of cool.
It's really unbelievable.
The Metropolitan Building.
Mm. Oh, I go to that park.
Yeah, you seem to hang out there a lot now.
Yeah, it's really convenient from the karaoke joint. We usually go to karaoke and then we just get snacks and go to the park afterwards.
Mm.
I'd say chubby. Ooh, the testicles.
Yeah, I know. We had a picture of this. I wonder if we took a picture of it because it looks like balls. But
I tell you right now, this map doesn't exist anymore. Like all these colors and whatnot. Wow.
Yeah, you recently were talking about that picture, that map.
I was sitting doing work on Friday at that office that I just go to randomly and stopped doing that. Oh, I can take it out of here.
What?
I can hear that in my ear.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know.
And the guy across from me is Japanese dude. He's having a conversation in Japanese for a really long time. And then he just goes, I'm loving it, like McDonald's slogan, I'm loving it. And then he just like starts doing, I'm enjoying it.
Like on the phone?
Yeah, like I don't know why they're talking about it, but he said that, I'm loving it. And I giggled and let him know, I know what you're talking about. Da 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 da. I'm loving it.
An AM PM in Tokyo. Those don't exist anymore.
They don't exist anymore,
No.
but they existed up until maybe 5 years ago.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I used to go into an AM PM down the street from my office, but it got bought up by all the Family Marts.
Mm.
So my homeboys with their micro homeboy down there at the bottom. There's a roll of toilet paper in the background.
So this is in Higashi Ginza. For some reason, I thought we went to the one in Azumabashi, but we didn't. Wow. The tablet's about to shut off.
Azumabashi, you mean Asakusa?
Asakusa, yeah. Huh. That's
Bye.
surprising. I wonder if I broke a cable. We're going to have to get the chat up somewhere else.
Mm.
Oh, I think it might have just not been plugged in.
Mm.
Yeah, now it's charging. Just got to be more diligent.
Always diligent.
Always diligent. The tablet's battery sucks balls. Yabba.
The look of disappointment.
That wash bear, man, I see that and I'm like, oh, we have some sort of technical problem. I'm wearing those shoes I bought in China.
Mm-hmm. They had a name.
The Peaks.
Peaks.
They say peak on the side of them.
Mm-hmm.
I was curious about this. What did we write on this map? I saw that we had written on it.
OBS.
How do I zoom?
Okay, I'm circling a lot. This is all my handwriting.
Yeah.
Store
slash
cats.
cats in
Okay,
Ikebukuro.
so it must be Cat Cafe. Second book plus Electric City musical instruments. That's Ochanomizu. Ogawa Machi.
I don't know. That doesn't even ring a bell, the name of that area.
What do we have the mark for Ueno Zoo?
Oh, you know what? It's just south of Ochanomizu. So, okay, maybe for some reason we wrote that down. We just wrote down zoo.
Home is a
Kudamai, you wrote
Kudamai.
home.
Almost there, Katie.
Yeah,
You're almost there.
Almost.
Anything further over? That's the edge.
Yeah, that's the edge of the picture.
Water bus. Science Museum.
The fish market.
Electronics. Yeah, Ginza for the Sony building. Rainbow Bridge. Observation building.
Kamiyacho. OBS building.
It would have been observation. Like, the OBS didn't mean anything to me before.
Interesting.
Beer and photos. Teen shops.
What is beer and photos? Oh, Ebisu, of course. Teen shops.
The Parasite Museum.
Meiji Jingumae.
Which I didn't get to go to, or I didn't go to until my dad came to visit.
Yeah.
Busy Crossing shops.
Meguro is now where the dermatologist is.
Yes. Tobacco, electricity, love hotels.
Electricity might just mean like the vibe of the electric city.
Mandrake. Yoyogi Park on the weekend.
Mandarake.
Mandrake. I've always thought it was that.
I know. I think it just looks like the word Mandrake.
Red Light
Red
District.
Light District. Ah, okay.
So I think that Tochomae is Kabukicho. And I like that I'm like turning my head.
Shrine Torpedo.
And it's
Itabashi.
to Itabashi.
What the hell does torpedo mean?
It could also be Itabashi Ichigaya Kudanshita. So it could be all three of those.
But what's it mean?
Well, why would I only have two things?
Why would?
And is that shrine your
The word torpedo is what's got me confused, not shrine.
I know, but I've moved on. I wonder if that's your Tanabata shrine.
Oh, yeah, it could be. That was kind of neat.
Yeah, that was fun.
Just a sign. Who's the character on the left? It's like a lemon or something.
Trying to get that made. That's pretty decent price.
You're sold on these Hello Kitties?
No, I don't want it, but I know what it is, and it's only 1,300 yen. Yeah. That kitty's been around. Oh, there's the Real Akuma condoms.
It says I am Nyandam, like cat,
Nyandam.
like yeah. How do you explain that? Like meow Gundam mixed two together.
Yeah, like the noise that cats make
Nyandam.
plus Gundam.
Mm.
And it also says that peace of mind, Anshin, Anzen.
Just playing some of my favorite game. This one's labeled Furry Street. I like the kid in the Pikachu costume. You don't see that kind of thing in Akihabara anymore. I think some of that personality of Japan is gone to a certain degree. Like that kind of... Everything is much more conformed, and there's not like those little quirky things, not to the same degree as there used to be.
I think they're still there. I think they're just different. I think
know.
trend shift.
But I mean, you don't see like Jimbos anymore, and like everybody's just like this. Like a lot of the fashion has just merged into one kind of boring blah. And I think there used to be like the boring blah existed as well, but it used to be like quirky and like, you know what I mean? Like you'd have pockets of things that were quite different. The internet made Japan less weird, is my theory. There might be some possibility. I don't know if weird is the right word either. I don't know. It's just there's something there's something missing. Something has changed, and I feel like it's blander, but maybe it's just because I'm used to things too. That's possible. I put this in here for all the Sega boys. It's going to take me 10 minutes of clicking to get it to come back up. There we go. Is that cheap, Doggo? They're going to take 20% off at the register too, $25.80. It's not in junk either. It's cheap. It looks like it's really clean too.
Oh yeah, I remember the nuts and
I could bought this and sent it to Will. Was it a package we were sending to Will?
Could have been.
I think it might have been.
There might have been multiple packages.
Yeah. I like how they spell Yoshi with a Y on this specific game. I don't think they do that in modern Yoshi games in Japan. I don't remember.
Shinjuku.
I don't know, but it's got Korean on it. It's like a Korean restaurant. I don't know where that is.
I've seen that.
Doesn't look like. I don't think it looks like Shinjuku. I think it's.
It's a Lawson and a Pronto.
I'm not sure. This is why I kept saying that they were going to give you cheeseburgers. So they gave us a flyer once that had cheeseburgers on it. I remember trying to explain this to my dad over the phone.
At the time?
Yeah, I remember I talked to him on the phone. And I was just like, there's these girls in maid cafe uniforms and it looks sexual, but it's not. And they try to give you cheeseburgers. And he's just like, what? You're looking great. Nikita Kataraman, look at the price.
Oh, yeah.
It's really not expensive. I bet that's almost a bill now.
Could find out.
Look up the... I keep yawning. Look up the one in near Asakusa.
Not making me yawn.
I know, I'm sorry.
Got
Neppy, hey, thanks for the bits. Thanks for the 500 bits. That would almost buy us this bowl of ramen if we had a time machine. But appreciate it. Helps us keep things going. Why don't you just use
I
Google?
would say Asakusa. Because I like to do things my way.
Yeah, but your way is slow and horrible because it's a Japanese app. It's the top one.
This one? This one.
Yeah.
Banai was like making me not know where I was. View the menu.
So that's just the standard kitakata ramen.
Picture's still exactly the same.
How much is it though?
So that I guess is Tonpin.
I guess, yeah.
Or yeah, $7.20.
$7.20. So it's not asininely expensive comparatively. It's gone up, but it's not like murderously. That's over a decade. All right. I thought you were gonna look at it and it was gonna be 1,000 yen. I thought it would have doubled.
It is the same photo. They couldn't like be like, all right, well, you know.
The noodles haven't changed. Why do you need updates?
Can't even see the noodles, but the meat, has the meat not changed? I've been there so many times now.
Yeah, hundreds and hundreds.
It just
of
feels
times,
like the backyard. I don't know how to explain that, but it...
I feel like it's a lot more built up looking now.
Yes.
Everything looks really low. compared to what it looks like now.
Is the HMV still there?
I don't.
Yeah, that
No,
billboard
it's-
was still there like until a few years ago. It might be gone now.
I don't know if
but
I don't know
Corona
if-
changed a
I
lot
think
of things.
in that area now is like IKEA and stuff.
Could be.
This is just a picture I took. I like this. It's like a cigarette packet with that dog that went to space, and I took this with my DS. Yeah, I want to go back and look at some of these pictures and look at what the prices are compared to what they are now and see how ridiculously expensive things have become. It's your Radiant Silver Gun soundtrack for $6,300. That seems low.
What part has changed the most since COVID? I mean, there's a lot of parts.
I would assume the touristy areas would be the easiest answer to that.
Yeah.
Any place with tourism, like Asakusa, probably changed quite a bit. Just like turnover from shops that couldn't survive. Love Hotel. That wallpaper.
Yeah,
does that
one's
does
a
that,
bit weird.
Does that Love Hotel? Like if it looks like a 12-year-old boy's bedroom, kind of like that wallpaper. You made this. You had to design a robot or something. Is that what was going on?
Yeah, and it put all of the different compartments had different tools.
Rectangle in defense against retractable.
Retractable in defense.
like his-
Robo predators.
I like his feet.
You can tell I'm pretty proud of my design there.
I think I remember you being like, yeah,
I
this
was
is
like,
good.
this is freaking genius.
You play in the mug.
Drive me, drink me, drive me.
It's like a camera like was rotating around us or something like that and like drawing this thing on the screen.
And you could go over and take a picture with yourself.
Yeah.
Hey, you have those on the walls now.
Oh yeah. You used to really be into brains. Do you remember this? Yeah. You used to be like, yeah, brains is my favorite body part.
Yeah. Pretty sweet.
That was pretty. The globe. Was
The
neat.
globe was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
I wonder if the Toyota thing died because of COVID. That makes a lot of sense if it did. But if it died prior, I wonder what took it out.
So many shops in Harajuku are gone now. Yeah, I mean, it had already been on a change. Like, it's been dramatically changing over the time that we've lived here. Yeah, I don't know if I've been over there since COVID happened and, like, paid attention.
Yeah, the last couple of times I went in that area was just like, this doesn't have any character anymore.
No, I agree with
It's
you.
just
That's
been
that's kind of
filled in
how I
with
feel about the
Claire's.
fashion in general here. That there's just
Yeah,
not a lot of personality.
I do definitely feel that I agree, but I wonder if there are like subcultures that we're not seeing. But that's kind of what you're pointing out, that if those subcultures aren't visible, that's what's changing.
Yeah.
The visibility isn't there, but
Yeah.
it may also be that they don't exist at all.
This owl doesn't even have teeth, and he is promoting.
Gotta keep
Brushing.
your beak clean. Honjo.
Yeah, was it Honjo Azumabashi? Just
Honjo
Honjo
Ichome.
Chome. Probably in the Ginzel line or something.
Funk it up.
Look who signed that.
Where were you? What?
You bought me this for, I think, the first year we were dating. You bought me this game for my birthday.
That was probably one of the most. She looks like a zombie. You
What-
better watch out. She's gonna eat your face.
One of the most.
Probably. I didn't have a lot of money then, and I remembered spending like. I had to buy it on an auction on eBay. It was either like $40 or $50, and I remember just being like, "Holy fuck, am I really gonna do this? Wow, I must like this dude." $50. Yeah, she looks like a zombie. Like
Yeah, but they don't have that style of outfit that often anymore. That's
there is
definitely
more
changed.
variety than I thought just watching the girls walk around in these videos.
But it definitely still had, like, to me, they definitely have got the French maid thing is really leaned into heavily.
Yeah.
It's I feel like they've gotten sexier looking. Does that make sense?
Z saw the cone. How many cones have you seen today? You should do a counter tomorrow. Report back.
Yeah, I know I talked about this in the video. But these are like piracy devices that you do not see this in Japan at all. A year later, we moved here, and I went back looking to buy one of these things, and I couldn't find one anymore. So it was like a blip in time where for some reason this was okay. That's not there anymore. You know, all the Segas are gone. They're like Gigos or something. Taco said, did it say Gigo on it then?
So probably only a dozen. That's funny. Probably only a dozen. He says he's going to be packing and cleaning up. So probably only a dozen.
You know, you're getting older when you start saying things weren't as good as they were back in the day. I don't know what you're referring to, what I said. Just because I think that the maid cafe uniforms are better now. But I think that the fashion and sense is kind of blurred into a boring thing, if that's what you mean. What I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, like when you start mixing the colors more and more, and you just get basic.
Yeah. I think I don't think that I fall into that category of like. I think back in the day things were better. I think some things are better and some things were less better. Things are just different. Depends on the thing. That's you. Oh, look at you got the sandals on though, so you got the whole attire. Cool.
Go back. Yeah, I used to walk along this river.
Down here.
I'd come home tipsy from whatever the crap I was out doing, and I'd put my headphones in and I'd sing out loud walking down the side of the river on the left side,
like in
so
the
that I
middle of the
could
night?
so that I could watch the house. And I just, as that happened, I would just be like, okay, I'm almost home.
I did that walk with you one time, I think.
I think I made you sit down and listen to music with me. It's like I wouldn't change my routine of whatever that was.
Wait, hold up. The order it is tucked in. Oh, her kimono? I don't know how that works. Yeah, there's like a special, if you tuck it one way, it means a thing, and another way, and it means another thing, or whatever.
I'm sure I was really cognizant
of
that.
I had no idea. I just labeled this, the name of this is Tower. We didn't even know what it was called. I don't think we even walked over to it, which kind of surprises me that I didn't get drawn to that.
Something about the incompleteness might have been.
I wonder if you get up to the base of it and you couldn't have walked up like near it that much because it was probably all fenced off. But I don't think we even went over that direction. But it did catch our eye enough to take pictures of it. Yeah, you can see the cover here. That's totally not there anymore.
And that lantern has been cleaned.
Yeah, recently. Kind of. Oh, hey, there's a good picture of it. Yeah, like I think this entire structure up here is gone. I think they took all of this down. I'd have to go back and look at it, but I think it's just, I think this is the top now.
You know what? I wonder if it's there because of the construction.
What construction?
They had the scaffold.
Oh, yeah, they did. They had the
So it might
scaffolding
be
up.
that
Maybe there's other
they
things.
knew there'd be a lot of people in this area, so therefore they put this up for the time.
There's always a lot of people in that area.
But there isn't always construction. So
Well, I
they
mean,
have it up for the construction period, and then they took it away after the construction.
I don't understand how they can those two thoughts connect. The construction's like nowhere near this. It's like way down at the end of this, and then there's this big empty gap.
But what if like dirt? That's what I'm talking about.
I think
That's
it was
the
there
connection.
and it came down for
There's
some reason.
dirt,
Maybe they
air
didn't want
climb.
to keep doing the maintenance or something. I don't know.
Oh man, it's gonna be a sweet hug and then a fuck.
That's how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
The BMX dude. I don't always remember what's in the videos. I don't watch the videos in advance, so some of the pictures are
I
redundant.
loved this.
I don't think this is there
No.
anymore.
I haven't been over there in a while.
It's cool though. It's really big.
Real big.
Yeah, it does. It looks like they're retractable. I agree.
Oh, there's the Russian on the left.
Oh yeah, that's the white girl that helped us breach the maid cafe. There's your building. I think that the best time to go up here is sunset. To see it before, see it during, see it after.
I mean, that's the same for all
Yeah, all
large
views.
buildings, but if I had to pick one, it would be daytime.
That seems weird, right?
A Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, yes, that is weird. But then again, they really like Snoopy.
Just, I guess the Thanksgiving part I find more surprising. Yeah, this is a this stadium, this is a really good show of what it looks like. Because you're in the middle of the city, but there's not this like things towering over you. Somehow it's just the way it sits and where it is. You just have this like, clear view of the sky.
Her umbrella's got a little swallow on top of it.
I wonder what his name is.
I used to know it.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, there's a boy and a girl, and I knew their name at one point in time.
Oh, you're right.
It's always a boy and a girl.
That's the puddle. This was within walking distance of our apartment.
Tokyo Tower. I've climbed the stairs of that. Like done the stair marathon. We took the tuk-tuk there. You took the motorbike there recently. Yeah. I went to a haunted house in that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you go up into it to go to the haunted house?
It was down in the base.
Oh, okay.
And it was during COVID, so like you sat in a van while they scared the crap out of you.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty perfect for me. Whoa. Whoa.
What's
In the name.
Yeah, what's going on here? Golly.
Oh yeah, and we got the variety of drinks.
Yeah.
Which
Ultraman
now I'm kind
characters.
of wondering if they say what they were.
The third
I
one
don't
is
think so.
cider. Cola, cider.
Oh, derp. For some reason I wasn't reading any of the katakana because I just assumed that was
The
like
name.
the name of the character or whatever. So I was like really looking down.
And a lemonade is another one. Look at the pug on the right.
Yeah.
He looks like he's contemplating like the universe.
About to tell us the secrets.
Yeah, so you had a box and we took it to mail it
We took that shot with the wiener dog.
before we did the mailing. I wonder where we mailed it from. Because we took a slow train out of Tokyo to go down to Kyoto or Osaka or something that day. We'll find out in the next videos, I think. Numazu. Guess Numazu.
Manhole covers that look awesome. That's still very cool.
Yeah, and this is you on the train. We took slow trains down. It took like 8 hours or something. It was a long time, but we had a special ticket that made it cheap.
And I think I tried to take the seat out that's behind me, but it wouldn't come out.
Yeah, sometimes they're locked and they won't come down during certain times of day or something like that. So you're just sitting on your bag, which is just kind of how we did then. All right,
That's the end.
that is the end. That was a long one. That was a lot
Bye-bye,
of videos.
Tokyo. Goodbye forever.
Goodbye.
Never going back there.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. It was cool to see.
That was very cool. I think that at my own pace, I probably would have gone slower. At least some of the pictures I would have stared at longer and told more.
You could just say go slower.
I'm a little too tired for that.
Yeah, I'm tired as well.
Yeah.
So on that note, I think we're going to take off. We will be doing, I think, Sunday. I'm good to go.
Sunday you are good to go, but I'm having birthday celebrations with people and they're staying the night, so they'll be here on Sunday morning and you will not.
Okay. We'll see what I do if it's rainy.
Could ask them if they want to do a live stream and see what happens.
Makiko and Antra. Because Yuka's not staying. I don't know what's going to happen on Sunday. I do plan on...
Yeah, I don't even know what's going to happen on Saturday.
Yeah, Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday.
Oh,
well,
okay.
you're talking to them about... Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to take off, and I'm going to see if there is a raid. And we should be back next week as well. Let me see, raid channel. I don't have any idea what Victor's up to. I'm just going to click the button and we're going to raid Victor. So everybody say hi to Victor. I haven't checked on him in a while.
You know how there's those Fufu no Hi and Wan Wan?
It's going to raid in
Days?
like 10 seconds. Wait, 90 seconds. I don't know what's going to happen.
Wow, this is very confusing, conflicting information.
Okay, I think I can control it. Okay, it's every time you do it, it's different.
So there's like Wan Wan no Hi. Next week is the 6th of June, which is 6/6, and Steven-san was saying moo moo, like muika moo moo,
Like cow day.
so yeah, next Tuesday will be cow day.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll see a cow in a video. It's gonna be in Japan, probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
We might eat a cow.
Moo moo.
All right, guys. See y'all later.